Most of the female stars during the classic Hollywood era were not just talented, they were also beautiful and elegant. But did you know most of them were also carefree and audacious, especially when it came to their relationships with men? Some of these women bedded whomever they pleased, whenever and wherever they pleased. You'll recognize some of them by name and reputation, but others will probably shock you. Barbara Lamar. Barbara led a life that could rival the wildest Hollywood tales, filled with whirlwind romances, scandalous escapades, and tragic endings. All through her life and career, it appeared that Barbara was only loyal to her feelings and clung to whoever she fancied. But let's get it straight. In her era, you couldn't just sleep around publicly without it being common knowledge and ruining your career, so she found a more effective way to be intimate with whoever she pleased. She married whoever she fancied. Marrying not once, not twice, but 5 times, she seemed to chase after love like a moth to a flame. And this was not even later in her life. Barbara's journey into matrimony began at a tender age, tying the knot for the first time at a mere 17 years old. But if you think sleeping around was the only thing Barbara was guilty of, think again, because even before she walked down the aisle for the first time, her knack for wanting to be desired and considered sexy was as strong as ever. And somehow, even at the age of 14, it landed her on the wrong side of the law. At that tender age, she was arrested for exotic dancing at clubs and was given a good telling off. Did that change her? Not exactly. Rather, it intensified her desire to live on the wild side. But fast forward 3 years later, once married, Barbara's love life resembled a revolving door, with husbands coming and going like characters in a melodrama. She flitted from one beau to the next, leaving a trail of broken hearts and whispered scandals in her wake. Her social circle was as colorful as the rainbow, rubbing elbows with dancers, ranchers, and a myriad of other characters that populated the vibrant landscape of Hollywood nightlife. Yet even amidst the glitz and glamour of the Hollywood club scene, Barbara sought thrills beyond the realm of romance. With a penchant for living on the edge, she embraced a lifestyle of excess and indulgence, fueled by her insatiable appetite for excitement. Night after night, she danced until dawn, fueled by adrenaline and a cocktail of substances, including the notorious heroin that gripped her tightly in its clutches. But for all the excitement and allure of her fast-paced existence, Barbara's journey was tragically cut short. At the tender age of 29, she succumbed to the ravages of tuberculosis, her once vibrant spirit extinguished far too soon, and so the curtain fell on Barbara's tumultuous life, leaving behind a legacy of love, scandal, and untamed passion that burned brightly but all too briefly in the annals of Hollywood history. Lupe Vel. She was more than just a Hollywood starlet. She was a force of nature, known as the Mexican Spitfire for her fiery personality and steamy affairs. While her professional life sparkled with success, her personal life resembled a roller coaster ride of passion, steamy romance, and even raw jealousy. If there was a black book of some sort that contained all the names of who's who in Hollywood and how to get them naked and sleep with you, Lupe probably had it on her dressing table. Her romantic and intimate entanglements were the stuff of legend, and it's not only about how often she slept around, but who she slept with. From the dashing charm of Clark Gable to the comedic genius of Charlie Chaplin, she captivated the hearts of some of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors and made them dance to her tune in bed. She was incredibly sexy and could seemingly make any man she came across fall to his knees. But there is a dark side to this story, a tragic flaw that Lupe had that completely sucked out all her charm and seductiveness, and that flaw was ugly jealousy and the fact that she was overly possessive. Lupe's fiery spirit extended beyond the silver screen into her relationships, where she fiercely guarded her lovers with a ferocity matched only by her on-screen performances. When rumors of Clark Gable's affair with Marlene Dietrich surfaced, Lupe's rage knew no bounds, threatening to unleash a fury upon Dietrich that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest in Hollywood. But Lupe's protective instincts weren't limited to matters of the heart. They extended to her career as well. Her rivalry with fellow actress Dolores Del Rio was the stuff of Hollywood lore, with Lupe's biting remarks and aggressive behavior casting a shadow over their interactions. Dolores wasn't the only one who felt the sting of Lupe's sharp tongue, as many actresses found themselves on the receiving end of her wrath. As she entered her mid-30s, rumors swirled of a scandalous pregnancy involving a married man, casting a dark cloud over Lupe's already tumultuous life. Faced with the weight of her demons and the relentless pressures of fame, Lupe's story took a tragic turn. In a final act of despair, she succumbed to the depths of despair, overdosing on sleeping pills and ending her own life. Maran Davies. The case of Davies was so wild that some of her partners tried to end the life of another man because she was intimate with two of them at the same time. Imagine a Hollywood tale so tangled it could rival the plot of a blockbuster movie. So let's break it down for you. Remember Charlie Chaplin, the iconic silent film star, and William Randolph Hearst, the enigmatic media mogul? Well, Davies was so wild and sought after that the two men began actively vying for her exclusive affections at the same time. The dazzling comedienne captured their hearts and ignited a strong rivalry. But little did they know that what started out as a mere rivalry was going to turn into something tragic. Maran Davies was more than just a leading lady. She was the object of Hearst's adoration and the source of Chaplin's infatuation. Despite Hearst's status as a married man, Davies reigned as his beloved mistress, her charm and wit captivating him like no other. But behind closed doors, another suitor waited in the wings, Charlie Chaplin, the irrepressible tramp with a heart of gold and a penchant for mischief. As whispers of Davies' dalliances with both men spread through the corridors of Hollywood's elite, tensions simmered beneath the surface. Hearst, consumed by jealousy and possessiveness, lashed out at Chaplin, the rival who threatened to steal away his cherished paramour. But their rivalry would soon take a sinister turn, culminating in a tragic incident that would shake Hollywood to its core. The details of that fateful confrontation remain shrouded in mystery, lost to the sands of time and the whispers of gossip. Some say it was a heated exchange turned deadly, with Chaplin and Hearst locked in a struggle for Davies' affections. Others whisper of a case of mistaken identity, with director William Ince falling victim to a lover's quarrel gone awry. Regardless of the truth, one fact remains. William Ince's untimely death cast a dark shadow over the glitz and glamour of Hollywood's golden age. With Hearst's power and influence casting a long shadow over the investigation, witnesses dared not speak out, and the truth was buried beneath a mountain of secrets and lies. And so the mystery of Maran Davies, Charlie Chaplin, and William Randolph Hearst remains unsolved, a tantalizing enigma that continues to captivate the imagination of Hollywood historians and conspiracy theorists alike. Clara Bose. Also known as the original It Girl of Hollywood's golden era, Clara lived a life as sensational as any Hollywood script, but separating fact from fiction in her story is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. The truth is obscured by a fog of rumors, scandals, and tall tales spun by those who sought to profit from her fame. One particularly sinister figure in Clara's life was a vengeful newspaper editor, determined to exact revenge for a perceived wrong. This vendetta unleashed a tidal wave of negative press that would make today's tabloid fodder look tame in comparison. The Coast Reporter, infamous for its sensationalism, leveled grotesque accusations against Clara, ranging from bestiality and incest to contracting venereal diseases. According to the reports and rumors, Clara slept with an entire football team and bedded whoever she pleased, even if it was her own dog. But Clara's troubles didn't end with the scandalous headlines. Behind the glitz and glamour of her on-screen persona lay a tumultuous personal life filled with tumultuous affairs and financial woes. Her romantic entanglements were as numerous as they were notorious, including an ill-fated affair with a doctor that spelled the end of her marriage. And while Clara's father may have guided her early career, his mismanagement of her finances left her vulnerable to exploitation and manipulation. In 1930, Clara found herself thrust into the spotlight once again, this time as a reluctant participant in a trial that laid bare her private struggles for all to see. Her former secretary, on trial for embezzlement, seized the opportunity to drag Clara's name through the mud, mixing truths with wild fabrications in a bid for leniency. The fallout from the trial proved devastating, hastening Clara's premature exit from the silver screen at the tender age of late 20s. Clara Bose's story is a cautionary tale of the perils of fame and the unforgiving nature of the spotlight. While she may have shone brightly for a time, her legacy is tinged with tragedy, scandals, and rumors. Darnell. Ideally, it shouldn't be much of an issue if an actress has lived her life on the edge, sleeping with anyone she pleases, but then realizes she wants different for herself and tries to change, right? Well, wrong. Because for Darnell, things didn't quite go according to plans. The saga of Linda Darnell, a starlet of the 1940s, is a rather fascinating story. Initially known for her wholesome image, Linda ventured into uncharted territory, attempting to shed her squeaky clean persona in favor of a more overtly sexual allure, a move that would ultimately lead her down a dark and treacherous path. As Linda embarked on her quest for reinvention, tragedy struck with devastating force. Her trusted business manager, the very person entrusted with safeguarding her financial future, betrayed her in the cruelest manner possible. Embezzling her life savings and disappearing without a trace, he left Linda reeling, her dreams shattered and her future uncertain. In the wake of this betrayal, Linda descended into a downward spiral marked by despair and disillusionment. Struggling to cope with the wreckage of her once promising career, she sought solace in the numbing embrace of alcohol, a companion that would prove to be both a comfort and a curse. But it wasn't just her professional life that suffered. Linda's personal life was fraught with turmoil as well. Despite her status as one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelorettes, her romantic endeavors were fraught with disappointment and heartache. 3 failed marriages left her disillusioned and adrift, her hopes for lasting happiness dashed against the rocky shores of reality. Rumors swirled around Linda, painting her as a femme fatale entangled in a web of scandalous affairs with the rich and powerful. From the enigmatic Howard Hughes to the esteemed Joseph L. Mankiewicz, Linda's name was linked with a string of high-profile suitors, adding fuel to the fire of her already tumultuous existence. But as her personal life descended into chaos, Linda's professional star began to wane. The once bright spotlight that illuminated her path dimmed with each passing year as bouts of depression clouded her final days. And in a tragic twist of fate, Linda's life was cut short in a blaze of fire, a poignant metaphor for the fiery passions and untamed ambitions that consumed her soul. In the end, Linda Darnell's story stands as a haunting reminder of the fragility of fame and the dangers of chasing after elusive dreams in the glittering heart of Hollywood. Elizabeth Taylor. Her life was a whirlwind of romance, scandal, and dazzling stardom. But aside her talent, when the cameras were off, she enjoyed the company of men like any other woman, perhaps a bit more. Renowned for her breathtaking beauty and extraordinary talent, Elizabeth was also infamous for her reputation as one of Hollywood's most irresistible seductresses. But it was a particular episode in her romantic escapades that truly scandalized Hollywood and captured the public's imagination. It was the affair that rocked the entertainment world, Elizabeth's entanglement with singer Eddie Fisher, who was married to her close friend, the beloved actress Debbie Reynolds at the time. Their illicit romance sent shockwaves through Hollywood, tarnishing Elizabeth's image as America's sweetheart and forever altering the dynamics of her friendship with Debbie. Despite the uproar and the fallout from the affair, Elizabeth and Fisher eventually parted ways. In a remarkable display of reconciliation, Elizabeth extended a heartfelt apology to Debbie Reynolds, seeking to mend the rift that had torn their friendship asunder. Miraculously, their bond endured the trials of betrayal, and they emerged from the scandal stronger than ever, their friendship rekindled with newfound depth and understanding. But Elizabeth's romantic adventures were far from over. Throughout her extraordinary life, she embarked on a journey of love and matrimony, exchanging vows a staggering 7 times. Among her many unions were 2 marriages to the love of her life, the charismatic actor Richard Burton, a tumultuous love affair that captivated the world and became the stuff of Hollywood legend. Yet, despite her tumultuous romantic history, Elizabeth's final years were marked by a newfound sense of independence and self-assurance. After her divorce from her last husband, construction worker Larry Fortensky, in 1996, she chose to embrace a life of solitude, finding solace in her own company and the memories of a life lived to the fullest. Vivien Lee. In the case of Vivien Lee, she was the type of woman who got any man she desired, and she did not care if the man belonged to another. If she wanted him, she seduced him and got him, and this was especially true when she laid eyes on the one man she felt more than lust for. She was the epitome of grace and talent, capturing the hearts of audiences worldwide with her unforgettable portrayals of iconic characters like Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche DuBois. But behind the glamour and accolades lay a life marked by challenges and ethical complexities, particularly in her tumultuous marriage to Sir Laurence Olivier. From the moment Vivien laid eyes on Laurence Olivier on stage, she knew he was the man she was destined to marry. However, fate had a cruel twist in store, as Vivien was already married at the time. Undeterred by this inconvenient truth, Vivien's relentless ambition drove her to pursue Olivier with unwavering determination, leaving a trail of broken hearts in her wake. In a tale as scandalous as any Hollywood romance, Olivier, already wed to actress Jill Esmond, found himself ensnared in a passionate affair with Vivien during a fateful vacation in Capri. Despite the impending arrival of a child with Esmond, Olivier's ardor for Vivien burned bright, leading to the dissolution of his marriage to Esmond and clearing the path for a union with Vivien. In a whirlwind of passion and scandal, Olivier and Vivien exchanged vows shortly thereafter, cementing their love amidst the tumult of personal upheaval and societal scrutiny. But theirs was a love affair fraught with complexity, as the ghosts of past relationships and the pressures of fame cast a shadow over their union. For Vivien, the pursuit of love and artistic fulfillment came at a cost, as she grappled with the ethical implications of her actions and the toll it took on those left in her wake. Yet, through it all, she remained steadfast in her commitment to her craft and her unwavering belief in the transformative power of love. In the annals of Hollywood history, the story of Vivien Lee and Laurence Olivier stands as a testament to the intoxicating allure of passion and the sacrifices made in its name. Theirs was a love that defied convention and challenged the boundaries of morality, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of cinematic romance for generations to come. Tula Bankhead. In the grand theater of life, few personalities commanded the spotlight with the same audacious allure as Tula Bankhead. She wasn't just a sensual symbol, she was the embodiment of a rebellious spirit wrapped in beauty, wit, and an unapologetic tongue. But her looks weren't the only thing sexy about her. Those who knew her and heard her talk said that her voice was so sexy it could turn any man on. Emily Williams once likened it to being steeped as deep in sex as the human voice can go without drowning. Tula didn't just live life, she devoured it with an insatiable appetite that left bystanders both in awe and slightly unnerved. Now picture this scene. The summer heat hangs heavy in the air, suffusing every moment with a languid sensuality. Tula, always one to follow her whims, crosses paths with John Emery, a man whose charm and resemblance to the legendary John Barrymore catch her eye. In a move that surprises no one who knows her well, she decides to marry him, perhaps more out of curiosity than anything else. Emery, with his good looks and amiable nature, fits neatly into her world, but it's his resemblance to Barrymore that seals the deal. But here's the twist in the tale, a juicy nugget of gossip that could only come from the annals of Tula's escapades. You see, Tula had a rule, a rather unconventional one at that. It stemmed from an encounter with the great John Barrymore himself, a man whose endowments left a lasting impression. She vowed, perhaps half-jokingly, never to bed a man who wasn't hung like Barrymore. Now, considering Tula's reputation for being rather prolific in her romantic conquests, one might wonder if she adhered strictly to this criterion. But apparently her new husband Emery was satisfactory to her, and not only was she happy about this, but she also wanted everyone to know. So, when she had guests in her home, with a mischievous glint in her eye and a flair for the dramatic, she would lead unsuspecting guests to the master bedroom, where John Emery lay in peaceful slumber. With a theatrical flourish, she'd reveal the sleeping figure and exclaim, "Did you ever see a manhood as big as that before?" It was classic Tula, bold, brazen, and utterly unforgettable. In the world of Tula Bankhead, rules were made to be broken, and propriety was merely a suggestion. She lived life on her terms, consequences be damned, leaving behind a trail of scandal and intrigue that would be whispered about for years to come. And though her antics may have ruffled feathers and raised eyebrows, one thing was for certain: nobody could ever accuse Tula of being anything less than utterly, unapologetically herself. Jane Mansfield. As far as old Hollywood was concerned, few stars shone as bright or courted controversy as effortless as Jane Mansfield. Often mentioned alongside the legendary Mae West, Mansfield was a paragon of racy glamour, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of an era defined by its larger-than-life personalities and hedonistic excesses. One cannot speak of Mansfield without conjuring the unforgettable photograph that went so viral, we are still talking about it today. In the photo, we see Sophia Loren's iconic side-eye, seemingly directed at Mansfield's ample bosom. It was a moment that encapsulated Mansfield's reputation as a bombshell, whose allure was as captivating as it was controversial. Behind the scenes, Mansfield's life was a whirlwind of erotic escapades and romantic entanglements, with whispers swirling about her alleged affair with none other than President John F. Kennedy. Her love life was as sensationalized as her on-screen persona, a tempest of passion and scandal that only added to her mystique. Yet, amidst the glittering facade of Tinseltown, perhaps the most bizarre chapter of Mansfield's life unfolded in the shadows, entwined with the enigmatic figure of Anton LaVey, the infamous founder of the Church of Satan. Their association bordered on the surreal, a twisted dance of seduction and manipulation that bordered on the occult. Reports suggest that Mansfield reveled in toying with LaVey, tantalizing him with her flirtatious charms while her friends eavesdropped on their conversations, turning his infatuation into a spectacle of mockery. Despite LaVey's claims of an intimate connection with Mansfield, she vehemently denied any such involvement, casting doubt on the veracity of his assertions. The saga took a darker turn with Mansfield's tragic demise in a fatal automobile accident, an event that LaVey shockingly attributed to a curse he purportedly placed on her lover, Sam Brody.